Welcome. Today we're going to derive the circumference of a circle.
We have a list of examples of circles with their measured circumference and diameter.
But sometimes we can't always measure the circumference of a circle.
So we need to find a shortcut in order to easily find the circumference of a circle.
So let's start with this circle.
So we know that the circumference and the diameter is 2 and 6.28. By dividing the circumference by the diameter, we can find the constant ratio called pi in every circle. So let's check if that's true.
So here we have the circumference, which is 6.28. And here we have a diameter, which is 2. Like Sadie said, we can find pi, the constant ratio, by checking if the circumference over the diameter would equal to pi. So we can do 6.28, which is the circumference, divided by 2, which we can get is 3.14. Now let's move on to the second example.
So this one is quite similar to the last one. So we know that the circumference is 50.24 centimeters, and we know that the diameter is 16 centimeters. And so we already know the formula, circumference over diameter. So it would be 50 over 16, which would equal 3.14, or as we already know, pi. Let's move on to the next one.
37.7 as a circumference. And then we have a diameter of 12 from one side to another. So we have 37.7 as our circumference, and we can divide it to find the ratio called pi, just to make sure if it is constant in every single circle, which we do get 3.141, and it keeps on going on. Here, pi is not every circle is exactly pi, but it's really pretty close to pi, and all the circles are similar in that way. So now we're moving on to our last example.
Okay, so this one is a little different from the others because it's two whole numbers this time. And so the circumference is 22 centimeters and the diameter is 7 centimeters. And we do the same thing as we did before. And as we know before, it continues on, but we stop at 3.14 usually. Let's move on to the next one.
So now we have proven that pi is the ratio of a circumference over the diameter. This works with every circle possible because the ratio will always be the same.
So right now we will form the equation we use to get pi. As we just showed, that is circumference over diameter equals pi.
Since we want to find how to get the circumference of a circle, we need to solve for it. Since the equation is that we formed a circumference over diameter, we can multiply the diameter on both sides. We can cancel the diameter out. Now the simplified equation, we got a circumference is equal to the diameter times pi. We can test this on another circle to check if this is true. So we have the circumference, which is 6.28, and we have a diameter, which is 2 centimeters. So what we're going to do, we're going to write the formula that we found, which would be circumference is equal to diameter over pi. And now we're going to go and substitute them in. So we have 2 for our diameter times pi, and we also have 6.28. Pi, we're going to use 3.14. But of course, pi extends on to infinity and beyond. So then we multiply and we get 6.28. So 6.28, which is the circumference we already had, we were able to calculate the circumference through our formula. So this proves that our formula is true.